What you got in the bowl?
Cheerios.
Cheerios. You got any honey on them Cheerios?
Hmm?
You got any honey on them Cheerios?
Always.
Good man.
Listen, if you eat Cheerios without the honey, you probably order hard shell tacos from Taco Bell.
The Locos tacos aren't half bad, but they're also not that good.
It's the one exception.
I'll eat those every once in a while, but not very often.
I don't vibe with them too hard, but if someone buys me one, you know.
Yeah, if you get like the taco 12 box and just happens to be in there, I mean, it'll get eaten. There's no stopping that. But okay, editing, Quentin, we can start the video now. YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. This will be number 2 on the channel, if I remember right. And today, me and Spencer will be talking about tech. Crazy, I know, right? It's pretty crazy. I don't know exactly what the topics will be like, but I got a few things in mind. Probably going to talk about iPhone 12 rumors, maybe. We'll talk about the failure of the 3000 series of the, the 30, 70, 30, 80, 30, 90s. Spencer is probably pretty passionate about that. I don't know much about it, so he'll probably be the one talking about it for sure. I'm trying to think of some other things that happened recently. I'm sure there'll be things that come up. I can't remember exactly. I didn't end up making really a lot of notes, but there's a few things that I wanted to talk about that I think I will remember when we actually start discussing stuff and just start going off the top of the dome. I do have a few Homelab things happening that I can discuss and talk about, and yeah, that's really about it. I think Spencer is ready. He's in Discord waiting for me right now. So I think we're going to go ahead and jump into there. It'll take us about 2 or 3 minutes to get fully set up. This is to the stream. So bear with us while we get everything set up and ready to go. But YouTube, thanks for coming and watching. Hope you enjoy this. I doubt we'll do really any kind of outros. So more or less is the introduction and the outro. So thank you guys for coming back and watching this. You could watch these live at twitch.tv/oNerdd. Always linked down below in the description, so be sure to look at that. There'll be probably, if I remember, I'll get some links to articles, different products that we're talking about, and maybe even some documentation on some of the stuff that I'm working on. Eventually I'll get to doing that, but we'll discuss that in the episode. So without further ado, let's get started. I did an introduction already, if you didn't watch. Basically said that you're probably going to complain about the 30, 70, and 80, and 90 series.
Why did I complain about them?
They're great. They're great. Have you got it yet? Nope, didn't think so. So yeah, you were probably going to complain about that. And then I have a few Homelabs stuff, updates, and things that I'm working on that I'm sure we'll talk about. And
Talk about Zen 3.
I think that's about all that I could come up with for the introduction. So
Feel free to start.
People in the stream, grab your drink or your Cheerios. It's about to get pretty exciting. Fruit Bunch, in case you were wondering what I was drinking there. But now onto the Wawa. So yeah, I think I want to discuss the Homelabs stuff first, just because it's like 3 minutes worth of content. It's real easy. I haven't really done a whole lot yet, but I have great plans and great things. You know, we're gonna make my Homelab great again. I gotta rebuild it basically. So over the not over the weekend. It's only just the beginning of the weekend, but on Friday, I decided to finally bite the bullet and I bought a VPN. So I do now own ExpressVPN. I'm testing it out the free 30 days, so I didn't technically buy it yet, but I have that on my phone and my desktop, and we'll see how that goes. See what the connections are like and how that goes. Because
I just want to cut in real quick because I had to buy a VPN the other day. Netflix, right?
Yep.
They have all the Ocean's movies. You know the Ocean's movies?
All 13 of them?
Funny. 12 and 15 are the only ones available on American.
What? Why not 11?
You have to. So to watch 11, you have to use a VPN to go to the French version. Watch it there.
Why is France the only one that gets Ocean's 11? Was it in France? Is that why? And they're like copyright claiming it? No, that was the one with the Las Vegas casino, right? That was Ocean 11. Was that the first one?
Mm-hmm.
And they robbed that guy, and then the second one they went.
The second one, the
They went
guy
back?
found out that they robbed them.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Hey, you
Made
gotta
them
help
pay
me."
interest.
Right.
So they robbed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then in 13, Mean Man hurt one of their friends. So they robbed him with the guy that they robbed in the first movie.
Yeah, that was the best part. I love that part where it's like, yeah, the callback. He's like, yeah, I want in. I want the money. Yeah, that guy was funny. I don't remember half the people's names. I just know that there's some good actors in there. Those were solid movies. I need to actually go back and watch them again. So now that I have a VPN, I guess I'll do that, even though I already own all three of them at my parents' house.
Great movie.
But yeah, so I bought a VPN. I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not doing anything illegal, I promise. It's only clean things like watching Netflix in other countries. And I'm working on, I think I've decided that I'm gonna use WireGuard to connect to my network from afar. But I haven't really set that up yet or really done anything with it.
As opposed to OpenVPN.
Yeah. But, I mean, either one, it's give or take on both of them. I don't think there's any advantages or disadvantages to either of them. It's just two different ways to do it. I plan on testing them both just to see which one has better connection, if any, or if there's any difference between the two. And how hard it is to set up on your iPhone and MacBook compared to your Windows and Android. But I don't have an Android device, so... But I'm going to set that up and see how that goes so that I can manage all of the stuff from far away. Everything looks good there. So that's the first bit of what I've been doing. Other things is I've actually cable managed, and I put up my rack so everything's actually slightly better. It's not good, I wouldn't say that, but it is better. And I bought some more smaller cable. Instead of using a 100-foot run of Cat 5 cable to go 3 feet, I bought 3-foot cables to do the same thing. So now I don't need to have this basket full of 75 foot of cable that does nothing. So I did improve things, and I am slowly reattaching everything to the switch that I have over here. But
Prime Day / Newegg's tech deal day on the 13th.
it's the 13th, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of cables and raceways to order.
How much are they? I'm assuming they're going to go cheap, but what's the percentage?
I mean, power cables, which is what I also need, go like, I don't know, 10 to 12 on Amazon, Newegg. And then DisplayPort cables are expensive. It's just the length of them.
Right.
I mean, you can get a 3-foot for like $5, but I need longer than that.
Long boy cables. I think mine's a 6-foot cable, but you gotta have long boy. Need the reach. I understand that. So I might actually have to put that in my calendar because I almost forgot about that. But the 13th, you said? I think I've gotten emails from Amazon.
Prime Day starts on the 13th and goes through the 14th, but Newegg's Tech Day starts on the 13th and it's on that day.
Because I'm going to look right now actually at my Amazon account because I think I have some stuff that I'm buying. But it's stuff to do with the stream more than anything. So everybody watching the stream, you're going to get some upgrades here soon, I guess. Let's see, where do I go? There it is. That one. I'm going to buy the... what's it called? I don't have it in this list, actually, do I? No. The Elgato Cam Link. I'm going to buy that. So my my nice little baby camera here is going to be better. I was talking about it on... What was that last stream? Was it... I don't think I talked about it yesterday or Tuesday stream or Wednesday stream. I might have. I think it was probably Wednesday that I talked about because I was working on stream stuff. But the idea is that I'm getting, instead of having this focal lens of trash 0.5, I don't know exactly what it is, but it doesn't focus or zoom in or do anything. There's no depth of field from webcams. That's just how they're built. They just give you a camera. They don't care about good lookingness. So the cam link, you plug it in. I don't know exactly the proper thing. It goes to HDMI to a USB, and then the USB to micro HDMI, which goes into your camera, and then it basically pulls the image that's coming from your display, and then that just makes the image of the video on your computer, I think is how it works. So I'm going to get that for my actual camera so that I actually have depth of field and better focus, and then makes actual color ratios good, because it's like red, green, and blue are all you get on the Elgato or the Logitech thing here. Whereas with my DSLR, I have actual like full true color. I don't remember what the term is, but it's got all 100 million different colors, so you can tweak and adjust. And also it can do 1080 60 or 4K 30. So if I, for whatever reason, wanted to try and stream a 4K image, I guess I could. But I'm going to get that, and then that allows me to actually have this camera back up more, so it allows more depth of field, because right now the camera is just on a monitor, so it feels very close. And also it's very difficult to adjust, because all you get is one flat image. You can't angle it at all without messing up the entire desk. Whereas with my camera, I can set it up on a tripod behind, and I can have it at whatever angle I want, and it looks better. I'm going to fix that because I keep touching it. So I have that in my Amazon cart, and if that's on sale, I'll pick that up. And then also I'm looking at NFC tags. Don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them yet, but potentially set it up for connected to the Wi-Fi for sure, and then maybe something else to do with like Raspberry Pi something, I don't know. But because I was reading about NFC tags, I was like, that sounds pretty cool. I might have to do that. And then somebody's like, yeah, you can make coasters. And they had like a whole tutorial of how to pour concrete and mix concrete to make coasters. And then you put the tag in there. And then all you have to do is just tap your phone against it. And I was like, I have an Apple XR. It's all glass. I tap it on concrete, it's going to shatter. So that's a no-go for me. But the NFC tags are pretty thin and pretty inconspicuous. So I could like set it underneath a coaster even, or have it up against like an image or something, or behind a picture even on the wall. But
hot glue, easy.
Yeah, and then I just have to basically brush up against it. But I want something that like as soon as you come in to the apartment, you can immediately get the Wi-Fi. Like if you're a new person, I mean, yes, that's terrible availability and security, but it's also a guest network, and people are inevitably going to ask me, "What's your Wi-Fi?" So instead, you just walk in,
hook it up for guest,
and then immediately connects you. But there's not really any secure item that does that, because if I put it right next to the door, people that just walk by outside to go check their mail are also going to connect to my Wi-Fi. So that's the only issue, is the fact of that I do live in an apartment, so it's hard to get that. So the solution is just to have an NFC tag somewhere in that first little seating area, so that people will just, when they ask, like, just set it down right there and it'll connect you. And then they'll be amazed. They'll be like, "There's no way." It's like, yeah, that's like a 2005 piece of technology there, blowing your mind. I actually don't know how old NFC stuff is, but
he's insane.
So I think that pretty much covers all of my current projects that I'm working on. Obviously, I still have 2 Raspberry Pis. This one's not even connected because I found it in a drawer. And so I'm going to make actual Pi holes, and then I'm going to set up an actual like file server and have network storage instead of just having file save, what do you call that? File shared folder on this PC going to the server PC once it's here. But I'm going to set up a Raspberry Pi to do that, and then I think either this one or the other one I'm going to set up a WireGuard on instead of having it on my main computer.
No.
But that's the ideas I have right now. I'm still working on actually doing them, but it's exciting stuff. It's real fun. Keeps you busy. But I think that's.
I don't think I have any. Nothing new on Homelab. Been slacking.
You've been busy winning tournaments in Overwatch.
Yeah, we won the whole thing. I will say I have been working on, you know what Slack is?
Yeah, I've heard of Slack. I don't use it a lot, but I think there was one point at Lakeland they had a group that would use Slack, but
You
I
know what
haven't done anything with
Salesforce
it.
is? You know what Salesforce is?
Nope.
It's like it's like an online software you use to manage business opportunities and the like. We use it at work to like track like how we're doing on customer installs,
Oh,
basically.
gotcha.
And they wanted me to do an integration with that.
Okay.
Can I share my screen in this thing?
You should be able to.
But this is like a diagram I had to create just to have an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing. So basically, like an opportunity is a project or a new customer. So when we create one for a customer, they want it to create a separate, like we create a separate Slack channel for it, and then add users to it.
Gotcha.
So that's one thing. And then for each opportunity, there's stages. So when a stage is advanced, they want the channel to be notified in Slack and the task list generated and assigned to certain users. So how that works is you can make a task list in Salesforce and assign it to certain users. I'm trying to figure out how to assign it to groups, but I haven't gotten to that yet. But once they have that task list, the hardest part of this for me is Slack has apps that allow you to do to send HTTP requests to a URL based on certain actions that take place in a server. So, for instance, reacting to a message posted in his channel. If you react to that with an emoji, it'll send an HTTP request. So, basically, they want to post each separate task as a message, or I want to post each separate task as a message in the project channel. And then as people finish the task, they just react to it with a check mark, and it sends an HTTP request that crosses that task off the list on Salesforce.
Gotcha.
So that way, when they want to advance the stage, they can see who's all done their tasks. Yeah. Once they're all completed, opportunity stage progresses. And also, if file gets posted in Salesforce, it gets posted to the Slack channel and pinned. That's just for syncing Outlook calendars with Slack, because you can do slash commands like you can do dot or exclamation point commands and
Right.
Discord bots.
Yeah.
So I figure like slash calendar, and then the user can show their calendar for the week. And then we also have to assign, if we're installing phones, we list how many phones and what kind they want in the same Salesforce. So I wanted to take that and make it into an Excel sheet. And then IntelliQuint is a different thing we use, and it's dumb, so don't worry about it.
And it's dumb.
It's like how our numbers actually. I don't understand it. It's like
Right.
where we port our numbers to, so that they can actually reach the outside world.
Gotcha. Interesting.
I didn't know about phones until I started working here. Now it's super complicated.
Phones suck. We use Cisco Community Call Manager, whatever it's called, and we use Cisco phones. I don't really understand half of it, but it's interesting.
We use basically all Polycom and Grandstream. The ones we install.
Never heard of them.
Good phones. But that's what I've been doing at work. And then also, what else? I can still do Windows deployment stuff. I made another capture or another install image
Oh yeah,
last week.
nice.
So I'm glad to know I can still do that. Because it's kind of annoying to... It's not so bad now that I've done it the one time.
Right.
And have everything configured to do it again. I used server backup on a 2019 server backup folder, and Windows Server Backup is actually not bad.
That's just
Kinda weird.
surprising.
Because if you can't do more than one backup, like you can have one backup regardless of it's the entire server or just one file,
That's weird.
unless there's a workaround for that I haven't found. Because every time I was like gonna try and schedule a second backup for other stuff, and it's like, you already scheduled a backup. You want to change it?
You already got one. What do you mean you need another backup? You only need one.
The thing is, you can you can back up multiple things in one backup. So you can back up multiple files or folders in the same backup specifically. It'll just all go to the same backup space. And then having to do it over the network to a different network share with no AD was kind of weird.
Yeah, what's the steps for that?
Basically it's the same thing, but the place you want to back it up to, the server you want to back it up to, has its own admin account, and you have to replicate that account on the server you're backing up from. So like admin password, that's the default stuff for that. The backup, like the place where you're backing up to, you have to clone that account over to your server. By clone, I mean literally just make a new admin account called admin password.
Weird.
Because it asks you to sign in with credentials that work for both servers.
Right.
So if you just sign in with the same account or account name and password, it'll just sign into both and be like, oh yeah, this guy is on both. He's on both servers.
It's the same guy. He's been on both. So basically, you're tricking it to think that it's the same location. Gotcha.
Because we don't use AD yet.
I don't understand that at all, but to each their own, I guess. If you want to struggle, you might as well, right?
It's alright. I'll convince them eventually.
Just makes sense to use it. If you already have all of the infrastructure to do it, why not? Why struggle?
I think we figured out last week that we're at 89 people still, like counting all our field techs and everything.
Right.
So we're not huge by any means, but it would still help for office stuff.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how big the bank is, but we have a couple locations. I think it'd be pretty difficult to do any actual management.
Yeah,
without
we're
AD.
all out of the same building except for the field techs, so that's
Right.
probably why they can still get away with it. But
Yeah.
it would just be a pain in the butt for them to have to migrate over. It would be fine for me to build the environment and add people.
Yeah, that's the only downside to AD is if you're not using it, you have to migrate over to it, and that's almost as bad as just not using it. So if you don't use it, you've worked well without it. It's very difficult to just convince people to do it, especially when they aren't 100% sure how AD works and how to use it because they've never
They know
done it.
how it works. That's the thing. They know exactly how it works. They just don't want to use it right now. So they don't really see a use case for it. Because they would prefer to do like, not necessarily band-aid fixes, but like,
A hot patch
along those lines. Yeah.
instead of
Along those lines.
proper fix.
Which that's fine.
Yeah, as long as it's working, you can still do your job. That means you fixed it. The issue comes when it breaks again, or something else breaks, and you have to take into account your glue stick that you use to fix something else. That's the only downside to that.
We've
but-
never had that problem before, really, except for a specific situation that we have a group of people that wanted their own folder that nobody else could get into, and their current spot for files was on the same server that everyone had admin access to as a shared folder. our shared server. So we had to like spin up an entirely new VM so they could have their own.
Like I say, that's pretty difficult to lock things down when everybody has an admin key.
Yeah, the funny thing I learned about the admin account is they're locked out of it until you try to sign in to it with their creds. Like the admin account can't actually see that shared folder. They can't get into it until they're like, "Hey, can I sign into this? I know I'm not allowed, but can I sign into this?" Like,
Right.
yeah, sure. Why not?
So they don't know it's there, but if they do know it's there, they can type it in and find it.
Yeah.
So it's
Because you can set it
it's
to
a
where they
hidden
can't
share.
even see it. You can set it to where admin accounts can't even see it, but that doesn't matter if they know the address.
Right.
So they can just sign into the address, and then it's like, oh,
That's,
hold on, you're not allowed to be here. Oh, hold on, you're an admin, you're allowed to be here.
so it's security and obscurity, right? That's the word you would use.
More obscurity. Very more obscurity, less security. But
That's funny. I mean, it works.
yes.
People that don't know it's there, they're obviously not just gonna randomly
Oh, we
guess
fixed
it.
that.
But
We fixed that
Okay.
already.
That's it.
That was the main thing we had to fix. But
yeah, that is interesting.
and then I ran into the problem where I'm just an idiot and I didn't click on never let their password expire. So everyone got locked out of the account because I had to make local user accounts for the server for each person signing in
Right.
so that they have the same permissions. But then I forgot that those accounts can't let their password expire, otherwise they can't sign in. So everyone got locked out at the exact same time. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. At least it's an easy fix, and it's not something like something broke. It's
Yeah.
just you just didn't have one setting had to change. Yeah, that one feels a lot better. But at my workplace, we actually officially have a VPN now, by the way. So that's pretty pog. And we actually technically have it working.
We have a VPN as well.
Hopefully this isn't too much information and get us, shut down or whatever, but it is a Sonic Wall product. So I don't know much about them, but I'm doing a lot of research and reading about them. I don't really know what other options there is either, but that's pretty much what I've been doing. Is just looking up about corporation VPNs and stuff.
What is it? FireGuard? That's one of the big ones. They do like basically just VPN stuff.
Right.
Cisco do a VPN?
I wouldn't be surprised if they have something like that, even if it's like baked into their routers and stuff. My guess is they probably do, but I just haven't looked into it enough.
Yeah. Why don't you use a Cisco VPN anyway?
I barely want to use Cisco routers.
I mean, if you have it, you use it, or if you have a contract with Cisco, you use it, would be my guess. But I don't think it's something people shop for necessarily. I mean, they could, I guess, if you really wanted to. But
Heckin' Cisco.
if you're a Cisco tech, you might as well use it, right? If you went and got certified.
Dude, I am not looking forward to taking that CC.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'll do fine. You'll do good. You'll pass it, right?
I got 2 chances, so really I should pass on the first try.
Right.
I'm gonna use Pluralsight. Scott recommended I use Pluralsight. It's like $30 a month, but they have like 54 hours of CCNA courses stuff on there.
Yeah, you can easily do that in a month.
Yeah,
It's not that difficult.
I'm just not looking forward to it.
Yeah, the only time I'm gonna take any tests is if the bank wants me to. Otherwise, I'll be like, no thanks. I'm not
That
gonna.
was the plan.
I'm not gonna do anything.
To be
like that,
fair, they're kind of paying me to do it. 'Cause
Right.
That grad assistantship is like bonkers money. Like full tuition and then $900 a month for a year.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't think it's. It might be as much as I make now. Maybe a little less, but like
worth it.
$8,000 in tuition.
Right.
Coverage. So that's. I don't know if it's nice enough to warrant taking the CCNA. But not really that expensive. It's just hard. 'Cause you gotta know like all the networking stuff and the switching, routing stuff and all that. But then you have to know automation and programmability.
Yeah, that would be the
I don't know automation or
hitch part right there.
programmability.
Yeah. I couldn't say I would know that either. I mean, it didn't sound too difficult to study, but I just don't know it.
No, it's a lot of JSON stuff, and I think maybe some XML.
I know very little JSON file creation, and I know that XML is a file format. And I know it's used a lot. XML and YML are used a lot in Docker images and composing files, but I don't know anything about it.
I've been learning more about it because of the integration stuff and integration/automation at work. But I'm almost to the point where I'm gonna ask if I can just use automate.io.
Yeah.
Because it's literally, I could set it up in so much less time. Like, I've been working on it for 3 days already, which is like 5 hours a day. And I've successfully created the Slack app that checks for reactions and send an HTTP request. And I also got on the Salesforce side and almost got an app set up on there to receive HTTP requests. That's literally as far as I've gotten in 3 days. And then at the end of day 3, I just got automate.io, and I was like, oh, I can do this in 5 minutes if I just use this.
Easy. Too easy, even.
If I knew it better, I would do it. But there's no point in spending so much time on it if I don't know it. I'm just wasting time at that point.
It's true. Yeah.
If we do it that way, like, the max we would pay is like $50 a month. So I think that's their basic plan, but you can also do free. But I think we'd probably have to pay so we can use Salesforce. Salesforce is like a premium app on all those sites, so we might have to pay. But
right,
I could just set everything up for that in automate.io in like a day and have it running the next day. So I mean,
no, it doesn't sound too difficult to do.
Time over money.
Yeah, usually that's the metrics you go off of too, so makes sense.
That's what I've been working on at work. Nothing really for first mid. I told them I was done after this semester, so I'm going to start working at Metro all the time. Maybe we get to take an advanced networking class next semester.
Maybe.
You
can't opt out of it, or do you want to be in it?
I want to be in it.
Okay.
I wanted to be in the one I was in before.
Yeah.
Then I didn't need to. But this one's a grad class, so if it's not advanced, then I don't know what is. It's literally the highest level networking class you can take at EIU. So I don't know.
I don't know either.
It doesn't make me feel good that their highest level undergrad networking class was just AD, DHCP, OSI model.
It's kind of sus.
I know that.
Kind of sus.
Yeah, you kind of sus.
I mean, you got to learn it at some point, but that's pretty low on the totem pole of networking understanding.
It's like the lowest stuff.
I mean, it's fundamental, I would assume.
It wasn't even really like a networking class because they did a lot with just server stuff at the end of it. Like it was more like a server class.
So it was more like a systems management class than it was a networking class?
Yeah. It was like networking / system admin stuff.
They're like, oh, we got to teach the networking, but we don't really want to. Which, to be fair, nobody really wants to learn about networking. It's probably the most boring part to just hear about, but that's just me.
I'm gonna let you keep talking before I break your teeth.
Just saying.
Networking is the best thing ever.
I mean, it makes sense. Once you get it, it's a lot of fun, and it makes it's the fundamentals of your job. But that's the thing, is that you can't assume anything in that class. and any of that stuff. But I think that majority of people just like to hear about the fancy lights and the fancy new server piece that they just bought more than they want to hear about the OSI model. That's what I'm saying.
This is true. This is true.
But in terms of usability, I'd much rather learn the OSI model than learn a Cisco router ins and outs, because then I'm just tied to one router for the rest of my life. Whereas if you understand the networking, you can use any device and connect to your network, and you know what's going on at the basic level.
A lot of switches and routers anyway, even if they're not Cisco, they use basic Cisco commands.
Right.
Like we use NetVanta stuff, like AdTrans, 6355 switches like that. They basically have the same commands as a Cisco device. Like there's
Which is a pretty smart thing to do.
Hardly noticeable once you actually work on it. There's a couple of things that are different, but really nothing huge.
I didn't want to put myself in a hole or anything there by saying that. It definitely wasn't backtracking or anything, but
don't backtrack.
Just wanted to make sure you understood what I was saying.
Give him an inch, they'll take a mile.
True.
That was from The Art of War.
I got that book right there. Actually, it's on my bookshelf.
You have The War of Art.
Yep, the big one. With Zhu Sun, is that his name?
Zhu Sun?
The cousin to Sun Tzu. If only that's how that worked. Yeah, I have in the stack that I'm looking at right now, I have Python Crash Course, Cisco Certified Network Associations, old book from like 2003, Game Development Fundamentals, and then The Art of War. That's the stack that I'm looking at. All very solid options. And then under that is a bunch of medical, surgical nursing, and maternal child nursing books, and pharmacology, which are books that Boston has.
Nah.
Dude, good book so far. Zero Day. It's about Stuxnet.
Yeah.
Good book.
I heard that's coming back around again, by the way.
It's still out there. They never took it off with all the computers. It's still on there.
Yep, it's still moving around. But no, there's a lot of, I don't remember which one it is, but there's a variant to Stuxnet that's going around, but I don't remember what it's called. I don't know what the name of it is, but I've been reading, I've been watching the forums, the FS ISAC stuff. I get emails about it pretty much every day about new vulnerabilities and new things, and you should be patching your Cisco routers, and you should not have admin access on your servers. Even when you are the admin of the server, you shouldn't have access to it. It's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Tell some random user, here, come up with the username and password and don't tell me what it is, but whenever I need it, let me know. Yeah, like I'm going to trust them to remember.
Yeah, and then also they're going to just give your... That's terrible.
Yeah, I was like, what else are you supposed to do?
Then you're just some you could just... That's the entire reason how they catch people trying to get passwords is when they ask for your password as an IT person. That's like... big no number one.
Right. But that was their not recommendation necessarily, but that was a scenario that they said that was better than you having the keys to the admin. Because once you set it up, you have the admin account, you set it up, you do everything you need on your infrastructure, and then you throw away the key and you give it to some random person. It's like, no.
Yeah, but that's just like...
You're still trusting somebody else with the keys. Why would you trust the guy that built the whole thing?
No, that's stupid, because if you're using AD, you just set it to where they have to change their password when they log in next. Then you don't know the password, but you can change it if you need to.
Right.
That's
But yeah, that's literally what they said, and I was like, okay, that's
dumb.
That's a little
you
backwards.
You don't have the keys. But... You know where the keys are, and you can get new keys if you need new keys, but you don't have that specific key. You have the ability to change the locks.
So yeah, we don't do that, but yeah, I've been watching that, and I can't remember the name of what it is, but there's one that's going around that financial people have to watch out for, I guess. But it's credential stuffing more than anything, but it's trying to get anybody that has an admin key, they're trying to find in a network, and they're basically just shotgunning emails to everybody in your network. So The other thing they said is if you have a website, remove all email addresses from the website. And I was like, hey, Kyle, are we going to do that? Kyle's like, that ain't my decision to make. And so then I asked the person who is the decision to make, they said, why do we want to get rid of emails? How are people going to contact us? I was like, they call us. Nobody needs to email anybody at a bank that's a worker at the bank. You never need to email anybody. It's like, why would I need to email this loan processor about my loan? Why wouldn't I just call him or come in and talk to him? I mean, yes, you could technically email him if you had a random one-off question, but every time anybody ever does that, people always complain, like, why is this person emailing about their loan? I don't want them to email me, blocking them.
Do you guys not have just a basic support email, like support@firstmid.com?
No.
Or not firstmid, KZ State?
No. Why would we do that? I think the issue for that is that there's nobody, that's not somebody's job. Like, we don't have a support staff. It's me and Kyle that support people inside, and I think Kyle shut that down. But
more so, I mean, like, not support as in tech, support as in like banking.
Yeah,
things.
no, we don't have that. The technical closest person to do that is the debit card current online banking processor. She pretty much fields all of those phone calls. Whenever somebody has any issue, like, oh, this thing didn't go through, or oh, did I get a payment, or why isn't my mobile app working? How is she gonna know what to do on the mobile app? All she does is sets up your account for the mobile app, but she's the one that has to answer all those questions.
The mobile account barely works anyway.
Every time it updates, you have to uninstall and reinstall. You can't update it. I just had to do that yesterday. I was like, what is this garbage?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and then you had to reset you had to re-put in your username and password. You got to reset your Face ID or Touch ID. Yeah. So
I'll do that now.
I was like, I don't understand this, but you can still access it on the website. It's still the same on there. So I don't understand, but yeah. So we don't have anything like that. I think we should, if our board of directors understood. I just know that
every place that I've been working has one of those where it's like a support email, and then the tickets go through that.
Right.
Like they can email that, and then that email gets sent out to all the help. Like that.
Yeah, we have an internal one that me and Kyle use. We use the SpiceWorks help desk stuff.
Yeah.
And so we have an internal one where when anybody sends us an email or calls us saying, hey, we have an issue, we email that email address and it creates a ticket. And then we can go in on the website itself and actually like do the notes and discussions and keep track of everything we're doing, but we don't have that outward facing to everybody. Not even anybody inside the bank. Nobody else gets that.
We don't really have a ticket system. I mean, we have support emails that get sent to us that are like they email the support email, and then that email address forwards it all to us.
Right. Which
we don't have
technically we have that.
We don't have a ticket system because I don't think we're
right.
And basically we do all our documentation stuff in Evernote.
Yeah, that's just our form of documentation more than anything. But technically, when we did upgrade from the Exchange server to Microsoft 365 Online, it did require a group email. So we did create a IT group email, which is technically a support email address that anybody in the network could email to. Like they can email that address and it sends it to both me and Kyle. And I think it CCs Robin, who's our security vice president or something like that. She's a senior vice president, and she's also the head of the information security group. So I think she gets CC'd on everything that comes through there. But basically, it's just me and Kyle typing in the ticket because it's the same address. So all the emails that go through there, she also gets, and she was complaining one day about it. It's like, what do you want us to do? This is on you. You're the one that came up with this, and you didn't realize.
I get 300 alert emails a day at First Mid. Don't even.
Yeah, it's like I don't even care. Like I don't care whatever Kyle does anything on the ticket thing because I get a notification every time. But it's like I just put it in a folder, and at the end of the day, I just go through and mark all as read because I've already seen it. I don't care if I have numbers in my inbox.
Yeah.
And I don't care about clutter because at the end of the week, I go through and delete all of them or archive them anyways. But apparently, it's too much of a problem to get a Windows notification every time somebody does anything in email. It's like, well, just turn off Windows notifications. It's like, well, we need that for other emails. It's like, no, you don't. You're already looking at your email anyways, and you just complain that you're already looking at your email, and then you also get a Windows notification.
Also, I think you can just mute that specific.
Potentially you could. I haven't looked into it, but it's just
I wish
weird.
we would migrate to 365.
It's great until it doesn't work,
That's true.
which was Thursday. It stopped working
Oh,
for
yeah.
like a while. I don't know exactly the extent of it, but I think it had to do with they were updating infrastructure and it jacked up everything. The admin panel, I think, potentially is still down, but I mean, it only went down for like 20 to 30 minutes for the actual emailing system, but the admin panel was down for like almost a whole day, I think.
One thing I saw about that is Azure's SLA, yeah, service, yeah, is 99.9% uptime, and apparently they fell below that because of this event. So people can claim the big money.
Yeah.
If you guys were affected. So I mean, I think that counts for you guys.
I think technically we were affected, but I don't think it wasn't an emergency reason.
It
Like,
doesn't have to be an emergency. It's an SLA. That's their literal service level agreement with you guys. That's like the baseline for what they have to run, and they went under it. That's just
technically, yes, we
how
could, but I don't think that we would ever file for anything like that, just because it didn't actually affect us, but didn't cost us any money or anything. But
oh yeah,
we're also a bank, so money is money. So potentially the board of directors might be like, yeah, we're doing it, but
that's free money.
Yeah, so it potentially could have. We weren't doing anything, and it didn't disrupt actual work. Nobody really noticed. There was two people that called me and say, "Hey, why can't I email this person?" I was like, "Cause just it's down." And they're like, "Well, why is it down?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm not Microsoft. They don't tell us anything."
Outlook has been going down too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there, but it's Microsoft, so I'm assuming they're upgrading stuff and updating things, and it's just they aren't catching it before production. But who knows? Maybe they got a new guy. I don't know.
I got before I have to leave and I have to be done. I wanna at least talk about the NVIDIA stuff and the AMD stuff.
Yeah, we're just about to hit an hour. I didn't know how long you wanted to go, but if you want to start talking about that,
we'll
we
go
can.
until we finish that segment.
Yeah,
So I want to talk about.
Okay, what you got?
Because we didn't talk about how all the 3080s were crashing. So that was
Last time. I think last time were we before people had even gotten hands on it, or was it the day of?
It was before.
Okay, I wasn't sure when that happened,
but basically, people were having problems with the cards making their games black screen, and from the basic understanding I got from videos and aftermarket cards put bad capacitors on their cards, which then caused interference, and that was amplified by the pure raw speed of those cards. So it would clock to about 2 gigahertz and it would crash.
Jeez.
So that happened with the 3080 more than anything. I think the 3090 was already fixed before it came out because they knew the problem.
Right.
But that was a major problem for them. The way they fixed it was literally just clocking down everyone's cards by 5% in a driver update, which kind of sucks. But hindsight's 2020.
Right.
So you don't really have another option other than returning the cards, letting everyone a refund.
Yeah.
So they had to do something, and the only way they could do it for free or without losing their entire profit was just underclocking the cards.
Which I'm sure there's people that were kind of disappointed is a pretty mild term. But
see, the thing about that is, from what I understand, it could have been a 15 megahertz difference that could have stopped your card from crashing, which is crazy, because that's nothing.
Yeah, that's hardly anything, especially by today's standards. That's not a lot.
But they rolled that out, and so I haven't heard any more complaints about it, so I'm assuming they fixed it, or at least made it less noticeable. I'm not worried about that with the 3070 because the 3070s don't clock near that high.
Right.
So I'm not worried about getting a 3070 that happens to. And even if I did underclock it.
Right.
We can
When
do.
did those ship? Isn't that in? Is it October?
29th is the new release date.
So
I
I'm not
don't
sure if they got
know-
pushed in November yet or not.
I don't know when the third, like the aftermarket cards will hit, but I think some of the aftermarket cards were out day of for 3080s and 3090s, so there's that possibility. I would like to get it ordered before Cyberpunk and COD come out.
Yeah. They should come in. Both of those are in November, right?
November 2nd, November 12th, I believe.
I need to buy that game. Have you pre-ordered Cyberpunk, or are you just waiting?
I have not pre-ordered, but I am probably going. Okay,
This is
COD is 13th,
13th.
and then Cyberpunk is the 12th. But I will.
You got 1 day to beat Cyberpunk.
Oh wait, Cyberpunk is the 19th.
19th.
I'm
It's after.
completely off. I thought it was the 12th for some reason.
Don't know if they recently delayed again, but
So I have like little under a month to get my card ordered.
gotcha.
So I don't know when the aftermarket. I'm not getting an Nvidia one. I
No?
don't care if I have to wait. I'm not getting an Nvidia one. They look like garb.
Yeah.
They look like garb, and I don't want to have a stupid adapter plugged into my car every time.
Oh,
I
yeah,
use
that is
it.
true. They do have the different pin, don't they? We talked
Yeah.
about that already.
And the best part is the adapter is like that long.
Yep.
So you have your card, and your LED stuff is over here. I guess it would make sense if it was over here. Your adapter plugs in here, and then just slides right along in front of it, so you can't see the LED part. Like where it says GeForce RTX.
Yeah.
Slides right in front of that, and it's this ugly braided cable that you have to plug your power supply cable into, and it plugs in like right here on the end of the card, so you can easily
So weird.
see where it's connected. Yeah, it looks gross.
Hmm.
Except for the 3070, it's even worse because it's like a normal plug-in where it's just that block in the middle of the
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
I hate the look of that even worse. I don't know how they managed to make these cards look so stupid,
I don't know.
but also look so good. Like, I think the design of it looks really good, other than that major stupid flaw, because
Right.
it looks so ugly. And also the fan on top. You know how much shit is gonna fall into that fan?
A lot, probably. Most of it, actually. Majority of
Like, imagine.
the dust is going to land right there.
Yeah.
That's huge. They're huge cards.
And if you have an AIO, that where that fan is like the main spot where your hoses are gonna be lying. So they'll just get caught in the fan. Then you chop up your hose.
Then you hose no more.
There's no more.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll even buy one, to be honest. I might give it some time, but I think I have to update my CPU and stuff before then anyways.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get that was another thing. I'm probably gonna go Ryzen this year, and I'm probably gonna end up I'm gonna try and sell my i5 and that motherboard.
Yeah.
Just to get rid of it, because I want to get the new Ryzen 5. They announced Zen 3 2 days ago, and looked promising. For sure. I don't know if it would be worth upgrading. It might not be. I might just want to get 10th gen i5,
Right.
or maybe get a 9th gen i7. But
Just have to find out.
guess I will.
Yeah, I don't know much
It's
about
just-
AMD, so I
I
can't
don't
say
think
it all.
I don't ever think I need a Ryzen 7 or an i5, because the only game that actually breaks my CPU is COD. And I'm not going to baseline COD. You know? That's not going to be on my
I know.
baseline for what I can run. Because I'm not going to be able to run anything.
Right.
And I want that to be my baseline, is that I just can't play the game.
And that just has to come down to they didn't optimize CPU and GPU balance
Yeah.
at all.
I'm not saying it's
Nor
my
are they
fault or
trying
Intel's
to,
fault
but
for making a garb processor. It's literally Call of Duty's fault, because they can't make a video game even though they made 30 of them.
right. I mean, they didn't optimize it for PC. They didn't do it properly.
Yeah. Even though Black Ops 4 was actually fairly optimized for PC. Like, download size, how well it ran, everything. It worked fine.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of problems with it, really.
And then Modern Warfare looked...
Let's make it as big as we can.
Let's literally not compress the file size at all.
Yeah, I'm confused
Because
of what
who
they
cares
did.
about installing a 50 gigabyte update every 2 weeks?
I'm assuming it has to do with the engine, the lighting engine and stuff that they went for.
Yeah.
That just screws up everything. I don't get it, but it was a long shot, and there's still people that are playing it, but I think it's mostly streamers that have overpowered machines anyways that got them for free because of sponsorships that are saying, oh yeah, the game's fine, it's great, no problems. But I've been seeing a lot of people are having issues trying to drop their 3090s in their current setups. But again, it's streamers that have no idea what they have in their system, and so they don't know what they're doing. And they're trying to just drop a 3090 in a pre-built machine from NZXT or Asus or what's the other one? Digital Storm, and they don't understand what they're doing. But it's like you don't even need the 3090 when you have two 2080 Ti's that are already in there. You don't need a 3090. You're going to get the marginally better performance, but you're not going to notice a difference because you're already overkilling your games anyways.
Yeah.
So it was a waste of money because you actually bought it. You didn't get a sponsor for it. But they don't realize what they're doing. They don't understand what they have already. So yeah, I saw a few different people were having that issue. Mostly were, the Warzone crowd, but whatever. They don't understand. But it's okay. They have plenty of money. They can waste it, right? Be different if it was somebody that was like, I have a 3090 and I spent my entire year's salary on this and it's not working. Then it would be a bigger problem. But yeah, I don't know if I'll buy one. I might buy a 3070 in like a year or two, maybe, if it's stable and it works with my system. But I don't think I'll buy day one kind of thing. I definitely won't pre-order it. But
yeah, I'm not gonna pre-order it. I'm just gonna try and pick up an aftermarket whenever it comes out. Because I know I'm only getting an EVGA or an MSI because the other ones look like complete poo.
Right.
Even some of the EVGA ones look like that. Because I want an entire strip of RGB across the front of my card.
I might as well get a light bar on it. Yeah.
It looks so ugly. I put a picture of it in there forever ago, and it's just the most ugly thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing is I don't like RGB, to be fair. I think it only looks cool whenever you have it displayed on stream. But
neither of the cards that I'm picking up have RGB.
Right.
Like the EVGA one is like completely blacked out, and then the MSI one has like just gray accents, white accents.
I mean, I would buy an RGB one if you could turn it off and it still looked just as good, because then I would turn it on, take pictures of it or whatever, and be like, hey, check this out, looks cool, and then the rest of the time it would just be turned off, because there's no point to having them on when you're just sitting here playing for 6 hours and you're not even looking at your computer.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. But so yeah, I don't know if I'll buy it, but I also understand that 2/3 of the rest of my computer would be too far behind to make it worth my time. I would be bottlenecking on CPU and power supply even at that point, that it's not even worth my time to buy a 3070. I have the case size for it, and I think my motherboard supports it. I haven't really looked too much into it, but
well, the 3070 is the same size as a normal card.
Yeah, so I should.
3090 is the only one that's like dummy big.
But it just comes down to, I know my CPU isn't close, and also I think I have enough RAM usage, but my power supply might be maxing out at that point. But so it's not something I'm looking to get in the short term, but in a year or two I might. But that's after I update some other stuff. But right now I think my current thing I'm looking at is a CPU upgrade and actual drives, like hard drives and SSDs, because right now I just have a hodgepodge of random stuff. Still need to port over my OS to an SSD, and then I need to set up actual RAID, because I do actually now have files that need to be saved and not lost. So I need to actually
I have like
do
super
that,
redundancy as just we're probably done after I finish talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
this, unless you have something else. But
No, I don't think so.
I've like quadruple redundancy on my data because I have a lot of my stuff on Google Drive, and Google Drive backs up to my computer every day,
Right.
and then my computer files, the drive files that I download, back up to my OneDrive, and also back up to my external that's connected to my router,
Right.
and then my OneDrive files back up to Google Drive. So I have like a mesh network of backup.
Yeah, so if you ever lose one, you got three extra.
It works so really well, actually. Like,
Yeah, you're not gonna lose anything.
I want my data in 8 different places.
Yeah, all within arm's reach.
Literally. Router there, mouse there, easy.
Yeah. So
I don't know where they're storing my data specifically at Google, but
somewhere.
I could probably fly over there. Can I see my data?
Let me just look at it. Where
Can
you
you
got
show
it?
me what hard drive my data's on, please?
That would be kind of cool though if they actually had that. If you went to like their offices and you toured it, it's like, all right, this is this person's drive. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny.
It's like looking at your baby through the window at the hospital, like, and this is your hard drive, sir.
Do you think they actually do that though, or are they just like, yeah, it's somewhere within these 500 arrays because you're in this region?
They don't know.
That's what I'm assuming. Is they probably
You
have a
can't
couple
track
towers. I'm assuming they don't even have full files on one location. They probably have bits here and there.
Yeah,
Do you think
I
they're
imagine.
that deep? I'm assuming they
Yeah,
are.
they're RAID 5.
They better
Out of
be.
their mind. Or maybe RAID 50 even.
Out of their mind.
RAID 50 data.
They probably just have one floor that's just a backup of their own stuff, and it's not even a actual storage location. 'Cause that's the thing is they don't have. I doubt they have cold storage of anything.
Yo,
I bet you it's
think Google
all
Drive
hot,
backs up
hot
all Google
swappable.
Drives to Google Drive.
That'd be meta. They probably do
Think
because they
about it.
can.
Think about it.
They probably do. But I think that pretty much covers at least this month's Tech Talk. I don't know if we'll do another one within the month or if any other shows actually ever happen. But I think those are some good discussions, and we did fulfill our discussion on the 30 series of cards.
Yeah.
If there's anything else that comes up, we'll talk about it. My guess is the next time we'll talk about it, you probably already own it and have been using it for like a week or two. Hopefully, that would be ideal.
That would be ideal.
And we'll have the actual hands-on use. But it seems like it's pretty much died down on the issues and day one launch problems. But
I mean, that's why they delayed it, is the launch problems of the other cards.
Right.
That won't matter.
yeah, they'll still have their own
'Cause
problems.
That
But,
just means the bots can order more. It's not like that's going to do anything.
right.
I mean, NVIDIA said themselves that they were manually deleting orders. Like, they had to go in and manually delete bot orders, which is good. I'm glad they're doing that, but it doesn't matter. And also, I don't care about that. I don't want an NVIDIA card. I will not be getting an NVIDIA card. I don't care how long I have to wait. I'm not getting an NVIDIA card.
Gonna do it. They're just ahead.
I'm going to get an EVGA card, and I'm going to wait the extra little time, and it'll be worth it. But I know for sure that, and then we didn't talk about AMD stuff, but you don't really have to.
No, not really.
Cool processors, they're new, they're better.
They got probably stuff that's better than Intel at this point, but
Yeah.
that's to be determined.
The thing about Ryzen, the weird thing is like their clock speed isn't near as high as Intel's. Like Intel's clock speed goes up an insane amount every year, but their processors are somehow worse than AMD's.
Yeah.
Like I know what's better, but I don't know how it makes it better. If that makes sense.
I think so.
I know AMD focuses on more cores. I understand that, and they have more cores and threads, and they have better cache, like insanely better cache than Intel processors. And they do 7 nanometer? That's what they're working with.
Don't know.
Intel's working with like 10. There's big diff, but I just don't know how that makes a diff.
Yeah, how that translates to performance and
Yeah.
everyday use.
Okay. Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. And this will be uploaded to YouTube probably this coming Friday. I'll do the editing of it tomorrow on stream. So potentially it'll be Friday the 16th, but could also, depending on if there's other good videos that I made, maybe a Halo video will come out first. I don't know exactly how I'll do that timeline, but it'll either be the 16th or whatever that math comes out to, the 20-something of that Friday the next week. But I don't have a lot of stuff uploaded or needed to be uploaded. I think I have a total of like 4, maybe 5 videos. So
you upload something like every day now.
Yeah, but I don't have any Slay the Spire stuff coming out in the next 2 weeks. So it'll be, I think it's pretty much just Halo and this video, I think. And I might pull some of the Melee stuff. I didn't end up recording it, but I may chop it up from the VODs.
I'm trying as hard as I can to get 4 people on to do Ender, so we can have that for a stream, or if nothing else, just do it for the challenge. But there's never 4 people with ODST on.
Nope. Hardly ever. There's like one time a month. But if it happens, we'll get it on camera and we'll get it uploaded.
That said, I don't know if you'll be on tonight, but we should do that if we get 4 people.
Tonight, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
Yes.
But
yes,
we'll see. But I don't work on Monday, so maybe Sunday night.
No work. Oh yeah, you don't.
Columbus
I don't
Day.
either.
Yeah. Huh. But I don't know what we're doing on Columbus Day, but we'll see. But I know for sure I'll be on stream tomorrow. I think I'm not going to stream anymore today because I'm working on some Homelabs stuff and I might play games for fun. But I think that covers our stream for today. And tomorrow we'll be back with editing for sure, this video, this podcast, this show, whatever you want to call it, and also some Halo stuff from earlier this week. Hello. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, YouTube.